What's the most natural way of providing nutrients to a newborn? Breastfeeding, of course. Breast milk is not only healthy, it's convenient, safe, and cost-effective. And here's another benefit. Mothers who breastfeed are less likely to develop breast or ovarian cancer. As the island observes National Breastfeeding Week, we here at the JIS encourage mothers to give their children a winning start in life. Hello and welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. The magazine unfolds with a word of advice followed by the news. Stay with us.
I say be careful what you teach your little children. Make sure I know something to hurt them.
Parents, keep your children safe and protected. Stay alert and be aware of where your children are at all times. Submit the latest photo of your child to his or her school. Know what's happening with your child. Listen to them when they say they don't feel comfortable going to a certain place or being around certain persons. Act quickly when your child tells you he or she has been touched inappropriately or approached with unwanted requests. Be the change. Help us protect our children. For more information, call 1-888-776-8328 or 1-876-878-2882.
Good day, I'm Andrea Chizom and this is your JIS News for Monday, September 21. Agriculture Minister Derek Kelly has announced several changes to the loan policy at the National People's Cooperative Bank (NPCB). This follows the findings of an audit carried out by the Agricultural Credit AC Board into the operations of the NPCB. Changes include the immediate suspension of loans to NPCB directors. Loans to directors are now subject to the approval of the AC Board. There will also be a loan ceiling of $15 million, and loans exceeding that amount will be referred to the AC Board. The delinquency period for loans has been reduced from 180 to 90 days.
Government is therefore committed, as part of our regulatory obligations, to ensure that proper management is installed going forward. The rules, procedures, and policies are revised and implemented to strengthen the governance framework and the level of compliance of the bank. And to this end, I have charged the AC Board to work collaboratively with the Development Bank of Jamaica and the Register of Cooperatives to furnish me with appropriate recommendations in this regard.
The recent audit by the Agricultural Credit Board revealed that $665 million was unaccounted for at the NPCB. The audit indicated that the money was inappropriately used to purchase fixed assets and for other expenses. The National People's Cooperative Bank provides loans to micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, including farmers. The bank is privately owned and regulated by the Agricultural Credit Board Act. 30 participants in the Citizen Security and Justice Program CSJP will become more marketable through a training exercise in the shipping industry. Training is being provided under a newly signed Memorandum of Understanding between the CSJP and the Shipping Association of Jamaica (SAJ). Under the agreement, CSJP participants will be trained for 7 months as stevedores, people who load and unload ships.
It's not limited to stevedoring. Again, you may have opportunities flowing from this to become drivers, to become crane operators. Essentially, the sky is the limit after this program. The signing of this MOU today is just another example of what can be done to provide at-risk youth with options that make it easier for them to resist the lure of criminal alternatives.
The Shipping Association internship program for CSJP participants will cost $10.1 million. CSJP, which falls under the Ministry of National Security, will contribute $5.6 million towards the program. SAJ will put up the rest of the funds. Meanwhile, the National Security Minister says the country is reaping the benefits of the CSJP.
The parishes that have the concentration of CSJP communities, Kingston and St. Andrew and St. Catherine, we have actually not seen an increase in either murder or other serious and violent crimes.
CSJP, which has been in operation for about 15 years, targets unattached youth in volatile communities. About 14,000 people have so far benefited from the program. Tourism Minister Dr. Wicker McNeil says his ministry will be spending $560 million this fiscal year on cleanup programs. The Tourism Enhancement Fund will provide $60 million to implement a Clean Coast project, while another $260 million will be spent on an all-island maintenance beautification project. An agreement was signed recently with the National Solid Waste Management Authority to execute that project.
We have a $140 million program to do the North Coast Highway and over another $100 million that we are using for the cleanup of the rest of the island. But as I said, it does not negate the responsibility that each and every Jamaican has to clean their environment. It's a way of living. It's something that has to be inculcated in your home when you're growing up. It has to be inculcated in the schools, in the business environment.
Minister McNeil was speaking with JRS News on Saturday during activities to mark International Coastal Cleanup Day. Tons of garbage was collected from the nation's coastline during the island-wide activity. And finally, the Jamaica Information Service JRS is now accepting entries for its annual Heritage Essay and Poster competitions. The theme for this year is A Day in the Life of My Favorite National Hero. The essay competition is for students aged 9 to 12. Essays must be between 400 and 500 words and written in standard English. The poster competition, meanwhile, is for students in grades 7 through 13. Posters should be no larger than 11 by 17 inches. For more details on the JIS Heritage Essay and Poster competitions, visit jis.gov.jm. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Thank you for watching.
Are you registered to vote? If not, don't miss your chance to get on the next voters list. The deadline for registration is Wednesday, September 30. Persons not registered by September 30 for the November voters list cannot be added before May 2016. To get registered, simply visit the EOJ constituency office nearest you. For more information, call us at 922-0425-9 or visit ecj.com.jm. Remember, voting is your right.
Did you know that babies who are breastfed are sick less often than those who are not? Did you also know that mothers who breastfeed regain their figure sooner than mothers who don't? Yep, it's true. We have some more interesting facts about breastfeeding coming up in a little while. But right now, though, we're going to take you to the halls of the Office of the Prime Minister. This past week, Mrs. Simpson Miller and her team of ministers focused on the education and manufacturing sectors. Here are the highlights.
Prime Minister welcomes $600 million investment in manufacturing sector. Education and training a major priority for government. And wards of the state encouraged to continue striving for excellence. With Jamaica House Weekly, I'm Lorraine Mendez.
The $600 million upgrade of your plant with a brand new filling and packing line for beverage is a reflection of your confidence in Jamaica.
Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller addressing the management of Wisynco's new filling and packing line for beverages at its White Marl St. Catherine plant. Following a tour of the plant on Wednesday, the Prime Minister reiterated government's strategic focus on the manufacturing sector as a key growth area. She said government had been coordinating legislative and administrative reform to improve the sector, which she believes is vital to production expansion.
With the policy and pragmatic assistance of the recently expanded National Export Strategy, let us reach to new and non-traditional markets all over the globe. And once it is Jamaican, you know it will take off.
Before that engagement, Mrs. Simpson Miller was in Western Jamaica for the official opening of the Fidel Castro campus of the Anchovy High School. The campus, which houses 900 students from grades 7 and 8, has eased overcrowding at the main Anchovy campus.
I join Minister Thwaites in his mission to remove all high schools from the shift system. And I look forward to the Fidel Castro campus becoming a full-fledged school, a goal that the Ministry of Education has set for itself to be accomplished by September next year.
While recommitting her government to pushing education and training, Mrs. Simpson-Miller highlighted some of the areas being improved.
Our commitment can be seen in the significant investments we continue to make in the education sector, including the construction and equipping of schools, training of teachers, principals, school board members, and other leaders in education, assistance with books and meals at some levels of the education system.
And with the new school year in progress, the Prime Minister asked all stakeholders to come on board to make the academic year a successful one.
This school is yours. Take care of it. I commend those parents and guardians who are doing their best and making great sacrifices to ensure that their children get a good education. I thank the teachers and school administrators who work tirelessly to keep our education system strong and our people educated. We're all partners together in this great enterprise of education.
And Prime Minister Simpson-Miller on Tuesday received the credentials of the new High Commissioner Designate of the Bahamas, Picewell Forbes. Mrs. Simpson-Miller congratulated the High Commissioner on his new assignment and said her government looked forward to working with him to deepen the relationship between both countries. Meanwhile, the minister responsible for information brought government's greetings at the launch of the Music and Media Department of the Jamaica Theological Seminary.
I fully commend and endorse the building of competence and capacity of music and media skills which are undergirded by Christian principles and perspectives. At a time when we have a plethora of media entities, we need more voices of faith and morality to dilute or hopefully erase the voices of evil, immorality, and despair.
The function also coincided with the 50th anniversary of the Grace Hour, one of the longest-running religious programs on Jamaican radio.
Never let your present situation limit your possibilities for success, or allow the circumstances from which you come to determine how far you go in life. The sky is the limit.
Minister Faulkner's encouraging words for 4 former wards of the state who each received $5,000 to pursue tertiary education. The scholarships were issued by New York-based charity Children of Jamaica Outreach Incorporated. Senator Faulkner told recipients to remain undaunted by challenges.
No matter the circumstances, personally or professionally, all of us can share stories of overcoming adversity and of achieving success in the face of challenges. We have all faced situations where others, and at times even ourselves, doubted our own abilities. Through hard work and dedication, we overcome and we scale hurdles to get ahead. And life is always better and sweeter when we succeed.
And that's it for this week's edition of Jamaica House Weekly. Do join us again next time for the latest stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Well, I dare to make a difference, and I dare to take a stand. Let me dare you to think of someone else who's in need of a helping hand.
The Office of the Children's Advocate is very aware that we have some parents who get particularly anxious at the start of a new school year. And so we really just wanted to share with you a few tips that you can utilize to help keep your children, especially the very young ones who are going out for the first time, nice and safe from sexual abuse. Parents need to recognize that the private parts, as we call them, or the genitalia, are regular parts of the body. And so in teaching your children about the forehead and the nose and the hand, you can also teach them the names of these body parts, because that does 2 things. It puts them in a position to speak about these parts when something is going wrong, and it also tells them that even though they're private parts, it's not too private to talk about, particularly with a parent. children need to know that there should be no secrets between them and their parents or guardians. Oftentimes, when persons want to abuse children, they tend to encourage them to keep a little secret. You know, this is between me and you. But from very early, parents need to establish with their children that the lines of communication are open. Mommy and daddy, or auntie and uncle, or whoever is the responsible adult in that child's life, can actually have a discussion, age appropriate of course, about anything at all that may be troubling the child. The third tip is that parents need to cultivate throughout the child's lifespan that environment whereby the child feels comfortable to speak. Conversation should not be off limit, topics should not be taboo, and you really need to get to a stage whereby you have teachable moments, we call them. So we see a lot of things reported in the newspapers, sometimes on the nightly news, and we can use some of these instances of horrible things that are happening to other children to start little discussions with our own children to give them tips as to how they can avoid or prevent, perhaps completely, any such reality happening to them. For these tips and of course any other information that deals with children, that is anyone under 18 years, please feel free to contact the Office of the Children's Advocate. We're at 72 Harbour Street, downtown Kingston, and our numbers are 948-1134, or website www.oca.gov.jm.
Well, I dare to make a difference, and I dare to take a stand. Let me dare you to think of someone else who's in need of a helping hand. But if I
Breastfeeding and work. Let's make it work. That's the theme for this year's National Breastfeeding Week. All week long, officials in the Ministry of Health will be holding various activities to highlight the importance of breastfeeding. So we're doing our part. Up next, a look at the benefits of breastfeeding and how you can ensure your baby gets the right start.
Imagine that there is a dream product to feed and immunize everyone born on Earth. Imagine also that it is available everywhere, requires no storage or delivery, and can help mothers to plan their families and reduce the risk of cancer. Then imagine the world refusing to use it. The dream product is human breast milk, available to all childbearing women. Statistics show that breastfeeding is now an endangered practice around the world in both developed and developing countries. Here in Jamaica, statistics from the Ministry of Health indicate that in recent years, there has been a marked decline in breastfeeding at 6 weeks. Experts say breast milk is the best source of nutrition for the first 6 months of life. It contains appropriate amounts of carbohydrate, protein, and fat. It also provides digestive enzymes, minerals, vitamins, and hormones that infants require. Breast milk contains antibodies from the mother that can help the baby to resist infections. Breastfeeding benefits mothers and babies, as well as the environment and the nation in general.
When the child is sick or when the mother is sick, the child might have to go to the doctor, mother might have to go to the doctor. That is an additional expense. So therefore, if the mother stays well, we'll have more productive hours, working hours. The mother will be able to go to work, because the child is not sick, she's not sick. As it relates to the environment, you don't have anything to really throw away, because you put the baby to the breast and the baby sucks, you clean up yourself, and that's it.
Some of the benefits of breastfeeding to babies include a reduction in the incidence of ear infections, stomach or intestinal infections, low iron levels in the blood, skin diseases, and infant allergies. Research also indicates that breastfed babies may have less risk of digestive problems such as constipation or diarrhea, becoming overweight, developing high blood pressure, and developing tooth decay. Mothers may also enjoy breastfeeding their babies.
The benefits to the mother is that the mother will be able to lose that weight that she had gained during the pregnancy, in that when you breastfeed, and a lot of these mothers will be able to relate to the fact that before 6 weeks after, or 3 weeks after delivering, when you start breastfeeding, you feel some contractions in the womb, in the uterus. That's just the womb going back to its normal shape. So therefore, when you breastfeed, you have more contractions, and then the waistline will come back. So you will regain that figure, that shape that you had. So the waistline will come back. You lose the fat that you had gained actually during pregnancy. And of course, when a woman breastfeeds, it reduces her risk of developing breast cancer.
The World Health Organization, the WHO, and the United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, recommend that babies should only be fed with breast milk, not even water, for the first 6 months of their lives.
Fathers, you need to support the women in breastfeeding. Grandmothers, grandfathers, we need to support our mothers as it relates to the shape of the breast and all that. Whether you breastfeed or not, the breast will drop. That's just nature. The breast will drop. So let's not focus on that. And when you think about the health of your child, you will be happy that at least my breast drop, but I have a healthy child. When you breastfeed, you get back that shape if you had it before, because you're not going to breastfeed and think you're going to get that Coca-Cola shape back if you never had it before. But there are benefits as it relates to, the way we want to look later on in life. So therefore, breastfeed, breastfeed, breastfeed for 6 months, only breast milk.
Be an active participant in your child's life. Spend time with your child. No phones, no television, no distractions, just the two of you. Get to know your child through play. Why not go to the park and get on the monkey bars? Sharing a meal can also be a time of bonding. If your child's in school, be involved in school activities. Speak with your child's teacher, follow up on their progress in school, and see how you can help. Assist them with homework. Attend parent-teacher meetings and support school fundraising events. Remember, your child's future is in your hands. Safeguard it.
So glad you are a child of mine.
Keeping our children free from preventable diseases is a major focus for government. That goal is even more important given the fact that some children are going to school for the first time, which may expose them to certain infectious disease. The solution? Immunization.
Immunization, modern science's answer to numerous life-threatening diseases. Most of us did. All of us should have gotten our own tear-jerking vaccine shots as youngsters to help build up our body's resistance to infectious diseases. According to medical experts, immunization remains the single most feasible and cost-effective way of ensuring that all children enjoy their rights to survival and good health. Jamaican law makes it mandatory, particularly for school-aged children.
Let's go. Give me some airbag juice. The new school year begins in September, but a child going to school for the first time cannot be part of that experience unless, of course, they are immunized. We are now at the Maxfield Park Health Center, one of the government organizations where your child can get his or her immunization doses free of cost. let's go inside. We are about to have a chat with Dr. Karen Lewis Bell. She will explain to us why it is absolutely necessary for all children to be immunized before going to school for the first time. Hi, Dr. Bell. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
I am very well, thank you. I understand that the 1986 immunization regulations law stipulate that all children must be fully immunized before they go to schools, daycare centers, nurseries. Why is this necessary?
The children don't have to be fully immunized before they're allowed to enter school. They have to be adequately immunized for their age. We give vaccinations starting from birth, and we give children vaccines at different scheduled periods of time. So children could be going to a nursery school at 6 months or daycare at 2 years. They just need to be adequately vaccinated for their age.
What are some of the penalties for persons who do not comply with this law?
Well, the penalties apply to parents, to healthcare workers, and also applies to owners and operators of these daycare facilities, nurseries, or schools. For every child that's not adequately vaccinated who's allowed to go to school, there's a penalty of $500 or, in default of that payment, up to 30 days in prison.
Dr. Bell, I did not realize that the penalties were so strong. So parents really need to be fully aware, don't they?
Yes, they do. And it's through programs like this that we educate parents, and we constantly have dialogue with the Ministry of Education, with owners and operators of daycare centers, so that they too can be aware of their responsibilities under the law.
What are some of the childhood diseases that are averted by immunization?
Well, the common ones that we vaccinate against are tuberculosis, diphtheria, tetanus or lockjaw, pertussis or whooping cough, measles, mumps, rubella, and we also vaccinate against hepatitis B and a particular germ, Haemophilus influenza type B, that causes pneumonias and meningitis.
At what age should a child be fully immunized?
Well, a child is fully immunized with the primary series of vaccines by age 1. What that means is that they would have had the BCG vaccine at birth, and they would have had 3 doses of a polio, diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, hepatitis B, Haemophilus influenza type B vaccine, and the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine. At 18 months and at 4 to 6 years of age, the child would also be expected to get booster vaccines.
What is the role of the parents in ensuring that the children are immunized?
Well, we usually start educating the parents from the antenatal period. Once they're pregnant and they have been going to their doctor, we usually educate them about the importance of vaccinations. And we start the vaccines in the hospital at birth. And parents are usually encouraged to bring their children back to the postnatal clinic, to our child health clinics at all our health centers on a regular basis at the time that they are given the appointments to ensure that they get all the vaccines.
Parents and guardians, you must always remember that you need to work with the Ministry of Health to ensure that your children are fully protected from diseases through vaccination.
With the availability of safe vaccines, which are also free of cost, there is no reason for your child to suffer from vaccine-preventable diseases or even death. Parents, immunize your child today.
We've come to the end of today's offering. Be sure to join us around the same time tomorrow on this station. If you have internet access, we're available at gis.gov.jm or on social media, YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. We also have a mobile app which you can download from the Google Play Store. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.